everyone, so today we are talking about Kate Middleton. So Kate Middleton is, in my opinion, a little bit controversial in terms of her style. Now, I know a lot of people love Kate Middleton's style, myself included. I love Kate Middleton's style in general. But at the same time, I do feel like the things that she wears can sometimes read as a little bit stiff on her. And so I want to talk a little bit about that in this video, and I also want to talk about her color type and her coloring in general and the colors that best suit her. So you can see here, of course, she looks absolutely gorgeous in this, and this is one of my favorite looks on her. I think it's really perfect. And this is a little bit of a departure from what she usually does. Oftentimes I see her wearing pretty stiff things, things that are pretty tailored, which I'll go on to show you later in the video. But with her longer lines, with her height, with her silhouette having that little bit of width at the shoulders, really prefer to see her in fabrics that are a little bit heavier like this one, but also they have a tiny bit of space to the silhouette. It's not completely this precision tailored, very thick blazer type of stuff. I really like to see her in something like this, and I also think she obviously has a lot of elegance to her. So if you know anything about Essence, if you've seen anything like that online, she has a classic essence. Now, I really love this hair on her because of that. I love the middle part on her, the smooth styling of the hair. I think that looks really beautiful on her. Even though she does have some more structure to some parts of her face, some more angularity maybe to her jawline, I still think that because of her classic essence, she really is suited very well by this sort of smooth hair. Okay, so now for her color type, you guys. I don't know, I'm hoping no one has placed Kate Middleton in any kind of like winter category, meaning like bright colors. I would definitely place her into a soft coloring, so we're talking about cool, soft, muted colors. I think that's really her inherent coloring, some sort of summer type of coloring is where I would place her. But if you know anything about my color typing system, then you know that people who are cool and delicate, they can actually wear emerald green really, really beautifully. And Kate Middleton is cool and delicate. And emerald green is one of the color recommendations, a bright emerald green, because emerald green is close to neutral. And long story short, because it's close to neutral, it will also look good on cool and delicate. So here you can see her wearing sort of like a, I guess it's hard to tell from the photo, just like with greens and with reds and with skin tones, it's really hard to tell from one photo if a red is warm or cool. Because reds and greens are like skin tones, meaning they can be either warm or cool. Purples are always cool because they have more blue to them than red, but a red, you have to have multiple photos. But on my screen here, in this image alone, this red looks slightly cool. And the red of her scarf also looks slightly cool, so I do really like this look on her overall, but I do want to stress, I think this is just too harsh on her. This is kind of what I was talking about earlier. You see how here, it just feels so natural on her. This look feels so natural on her. She has sort of a little bit of drape to the fabric, and the color is not so bright that it's overwhelming her, but here, between the tailoring of the jacket and between the geometric pattern of the scarf, I would say that her look is still a bit softer than that kind of harsh geometric look. And then of course how the jacket closes, it also creates a geometric shape there, that triangle, that's very extreme. And I think it's a little too extreme on her, although she does look very elegant, as she usually does, of course. So here you can see even more so that kind of very stiff tailoring and how it really does not suit Kate. And that is, if you know anything about the Katie body type, she is a flamboyant natural, and so she is beveled firm in my body typing system. So if you end up getting a typing from me and you're type beveled firm, that is flamboyant, basically almost the same as flamboyant natural. But the thing is that because she is beveled firm, she really needs that bit of looseness to her silhouette, a little bit. Now again, it's kind of a competing thing with being a classic essence, right? Because classic is more about being very, very clean lines, very elegant, very sophisticated, and beveled firm lines are kind of inherently more unconstructed and loose and textured. But on her, these things, even things that are really slightly more smooth in their lines, slightly more tailored, are already going to look really quite tailored. Because of her silhouette, a lot of things are going to look more tailored on her than they actually are. And this is why, again, I explain this, and I explain this a lot to my clients in the reports and things like that, but I'll explain it here too. Your baseline is how your silhouette is, right? And so what happens is that you may believe to yourself that for you, because you have a wider silhouette and you naturally look good in these like loose, unconstructed things, that you really have to go overboard with very tailored things to look put together. But actually, it's the kibby naturals, so to speak, or the bevel types in my system or whatever. They're the ones who really tend to look too stiff a lot of the time because their silhouette is already so inherently unconstructed that even something that's even slightly tailored is already going to look very tailored on them. So bevel types, one of the ways to know that you're a bevel type is that you actually tend to look overly formal. You look overly dressed up, you look overly stiff, you have a hard time with even like certain blazers unless they're very oversized and maybe aren't like a harsh color like this, especially like this kind of like royal blue blazer on Kate Middleton. You can see how it, especially with the sharp shoulders and the precise tailoring, it just looks a little bit harsh. Here's the thing though, and this is I guess a little bit of my controversial opinion, is that we don't really notice that about Kate and how some of these things are actually not that flattering on her because she is, well, she's royalty, and so we kind of assume, okay, well, she's going to wear things that are very, very, very formal. And so because of her image and her lifestyle, that can tend to work for her to look overly formal all the time. And let me tell you, it's not that hard for her to look overly formal all the time because she is beveled firm, so she will often look overly formal. So this is an example of that. I think if we weren't so used to seeing her in things like this, in things that are overly fitted and tailored, then we would think this looks a little bit too stiff on her. And of course the color is neither here nor there. It's completely out of control. It makes no sense for her to wear that color because she's not a bright color season, she's not a bright color type, whatever you want to call it. She does not have those bright colors. Okay, anyway. So here, the coloring of this photo is all off, but I do like the red on her here. It looks like a warm red in this photo, but she looks really warm in the photo too. But I think that this looks pretty nice on her. I think she can do some reds, provided that maybe they are a little bit deeper. Now, she actually shares a color type with me, so I am cool and delicate as well, just like Kate, except I'm olive, and Kate is not olive. But that doesn't really change the color recommendations that much. Except that the green looks really, really beautiful on her, and I think this is one of her best colors, is this kind of emerald green. And on me it's the opposite because I'm olive. One of my best colors is burgundy. And so, but she and I both, share that color type. So she may find that reds are never really like a huge deal on her. They don't, olive skin tones look really beautiful in reds of any kind, like any sort of burgundy if you're cool and delicate, a warm burgundy if you're warm and delicate, and olive, that's going to look so, so beautiful on you. But then if you are not olive, you may find that emerald greens are a lot more captivating on you, because the thing that happens with Kate Middleton is that her skin has a tiny, not a lot of red. It doesn't have a lot of red at all. She's not rosy or something, but she has a tiny bit more reds, I would say. She's not as olive, right? So she has a little bit more reds to her skin, and so because of that, that green will contrast with the reds of her skin, a little bit of red, and it just looks really beautiful. And because she's high contrast, because she has the dark hair and the lighter skin, she's high contrast in that way. The contrast between the reds of her skin and the green of the piece of clothing here, it just is very flattering on her. That same type of contrast, color contrast, does not exist in this photo. And that's why it's just not as captivating, it's not as interesting of a color for her to wear. It's just like if I were to wear emerald green, it doesn't really matter that much, but when I wear burgundy, I do think that that's, if you're cool and delicate and high contrast and you wear burgundy, that's really, really beautiful. And olive. Yeah, but the royal blue, literally, forget it, okay? I mean, I hope after she saw this photo, she literally took that blazer and walked as elegantly as possible to the nearest trash can and threw it out. That's what I hope, okay? That's what I hope. And then she also called up her hairstylist and was like, you did a great job, because I really like her hair too. I don't know if she has, I don't know, I wonder if she spray tans, because she looks really warm in this photo, and the white doesn't look that warm, and so the white of her top doesn't look that warm. So I do wonder if she, because like her hair color also looks a bit warmer here, but I know she's not warm, you guys. I've looked at a lot of photos of her. She is cool. She is definitely cool and delicate, so I do wonder. And then in the same breath, some people are like, oh, like, if I wear foundation, does it change my undertone? If I do a spray tan, does it change my undertone? Like, yeah, of course, if you do a spray tan, it will change your undertone, okay? The undertone is not underneath the skin, but that's a whole other, I think I made a video on that, but anyway. So yeah, the red, not that bad, you know. I think it is a little too bright on her, but again, with reds and with greens, muted people can handle reds and greens that are bright a lot better than like other colors. This is just beautiful. I think this is just beautiful. Okay, I really love this color on her. I just could not say enough about it, just how beautiful this looks on her. And this is in large part because she is, you know, she has that classic essence to her. She's very elegant, and that kind of light pastel, soft pastel thing is just beautiful. And of course her color type, cool and delicate, some sort of summer, you know, whatever you want to call it. She is cool and delicate, and that kind of soft pink is just absolutely stunning on her. It's just beautiful, and I love this kind of, sorry, I'm looking at the picture. This kind of earring, you know, from where I'm looking at it right now, from this photo, it just doesn't look like it's too sparkly, and it doesn't look like it's too glossy. And this is something that I talked about in club, but I'll say it briefly here. The texture of your jewelry, you know, also can matter, because when you think about Kate Middleton and her skin undertone, it's really very soft, and you can see in this photo just how beautiful that kind of soft glow that she has. It's not this kind of bright, radiant thing, right? It's like a soft glow. If you think about Anne Hathaway, she's very bright, but Kate Middleton, she's very soft in her coloring. And so when you wear jewelry and you're a soft color type, you may consider wearing things that have a bit of a sheen, a bit of a brushed texture, but not things that are just very glossy or very glittery, like very large diamonds that are very, you know, they reflect a lot of light. That may actually distract from your soft glow. And so that's why pearls would also just be so beautiful on Kate Middleton. And here, you know, you can see, I think that her makeup is a little bit too harsh here, and I think the black looks too harsh on her. I don't think she has any business wearing any of that, so, I mean, I don't even know. I thought that they had, like, strict dress codes for her, so I don't know how she, like, did all of this. I wonder if this is, no, this looks like this is after she joined the royal family, so I don't know. I'm just kidding. It's not really that bad. It's just a little bit harsh on her, that's all. I really love, you know, after this, you guys, this is the difference between wearing your colors and not wearing your colors. Like, that just looks so tiring and so harsh, and this is just, it's like the light just came into the room. It's like she just lit up everything. It's just the softest light on earth just came into the room, and everything is beautiful now. And here it's like, I don't know what's going on. It just looks all harsh and forced, and I really don't like black on her, is what I'm trying to say. I think black is just too harsh, especially with her hair color. Now, someone like me, of course, I can wear black, but someone like her also, with her body type, with her bone structure, it's just not going to happen. It doesn't work. And here, you know, it's not half bad, okay? I don't really love the color, but it's not half bad. But you can see, you know, she has the longer lines to her. She looks pretty tall, and she is pretty tall. And that's why she looks beautiful in longer lines. So somebody asked me once, let me go all the way back to this one. So somebody asked me once, like, can I wear short sleeves if I have long lines? And if you know anything about long lines to your silhouette, you have to really wear sleeves that are really quite long, like maybe past your knuckle. That would be really, really beautiful. Or otherwise, sleeves that are just above your elbow are perfect, because actually the eye thinks to, like, if I look at a short sleeve, I think, oh, it's going to end like a t-shirt sleeve, like halfway between your shoulder and your elbow. But if you wear something that just ends right above the elbow, that's actually, it's just perceived as a long line, okay, because it goes longer and further than the eye thinks it ought to go. So yeah. So where were we? Okay, so yeah, I mean, if you can get over her facial expression, this is not half bad. I think that this lighting may be like half artificial, and that's the thing, is that, you know, when you're doing a color typing, really having natural lighting is critical, or either that or color balanced lighting. But yeah, I mean, here I don't think that this blue is really flattering to her. I don't know what's going on. She looks warm here, first of all. I know she's not warm, so, you know, since she looks warm in the other photo, I am worried that she may be doing some spray tanning, and the reason I'm worried is not because I care about that. I just care about the color typing. Because spray tanning will affect your color type. Like, if she were my client, then of course I would have to, like, actually go out of my way, email her and ask her, do you have a spray tan in any of these? Because that, it depends, right? It's like, if you always wear a spray tan, you can get a color typing on your spray tanned self, right? And that'll change your color type. Most spray tans are warm. And so you'll be warm. If you spray tan yourself warm, you will be warm. And you will be just every warm certificate you want, you can have it. You'll be 100% warm for 100% kids. Like, you're going to be warm, okay? If you get a warm spray tan and you really get enough of it, you will be warm. You wear a warm foundation, you know? And if you wear a warm foundation, you can wear warm everything. You can wear warm colors. You can do, you know, you can do all kinds of things like that. And so the thing is that a spray tan will change your undertone, okay? And so if that's the case, she just has to be aware of that, that's all. And some people, they even tan warm, like, naturally. Some people will tan warm naturally, but those people are usually the really light people. Not anyone like Kate Middleton. Kate Middleton will not tan warm. We already know her skin undertone. Her skin undertone is cool. It's just, if she spray tans, of course, she can become warm. But anyway. And of course, you cannot wear warm foundation and then have a cool neck. You know, that's not going to work. But that's not what she's doing. It looks like she may have, I don't know. I mean, is it ridiculous to think that maybe she spray tanned? I think she could have. Maybe she could have, I don't know. Or it could just be the lighting, you know, I mean, it definitely could be, like, something about the color balance. I know sometimes I take certain photos, like if I take a photo of myself in, like, the car, it just looks like I'm warm. I'm not warm, okay? I'm not warm. Yeah, so anyway, this looks really bad on her, as you can see. You know, I don't think we even have to discuss further. Like, the polka dot is just way too harsh. It's way too harsh, and it's not just her, you know, that it's, like, kind of a bad photo of her or something. It's like the polka dot is really too harsh, and I don't think there's anything she can do. You know, some people, like, I don't know when this video is going to come out, but I'm planning to do a video on Elle Fanning, and Elle Fanning actually does pure black better than Kate Middleton, because Elle Fanning is cool and radiant. She is cool and bright, and Kate Middleton is cool and delicate. So yeah, I mean, she has literally no business. This is another thing that she should have just been like, she would see this photo and then she would just literally come home, take the dress off, walk to the nearest trash can and throw it out. She'd be like, well, that just didn't work. This is not half bad, you know, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is like, the color is not half bad at all, and I'll talk about why. But the outfit is just so stiff, you guys. It's so stiff, and I know it sounds like I am just, you know, I think, you know, Kate Middleton is a style icon. I don't want to argue with that, and I'm not arguing with that. Maybe I am a little bit. I think this is the kind of look that she is sort of known for. And I think the reason why she's known for it is because she is royalty, and so in that sense the look suits her. Like, it doesn't, there is no such thing as her looking too stiff, because she is like the most formal person in the world. Think about that for a second and meditate on it. I think that maybe the royal family are in the most formal position in the world. Like, first of all, you're in the UK, so you're already formal. And then, okay, you're already formal, okay? Don't get mad. But if you're in the UK, you're already formal. Yeah, anyway. And then on top of that, she's royalty, so, you know, it's not like she's royalty of, you know, another country. It's the UK on top of that. So yeah, so anyway, it's just, if things look stiff on her, it's not a big deal. If things look stiff on literally anyone else, then it could be kind of, you know, not that flattering. But yeah, I think this looks way too stiff on her. And then the color, though, is not that bad. You know, I think it is a little bit too, but because it's just not that bright. It's not like that royal blue blazer, but the main thing here is that it's just so stiff, that's all. Now this, here she looks like she is bright. You know, like she has a bright color season or something. And I think a lot of that is the saturation of the photo. You know, it's just a very saturated photo, so it all looks really nice. You know, when I edit my own videos, I can up the saturation and then I can look brighter and my skin tone can look brighter, and then things don't look as harsh on me as they actually would in real life. And so these are all the things that you also have to consider when you're doing a color typing, obviously. But the thing is that, and I think I already talked about this, is if you do a color typing online, if you do a color typing via email, you need a fair amount of photos. I ask for about 20 photos. But the thing is that it's just like taking data. You know, if you have a wide variety of photos, that's why I always count, you know, if you take a photo in daylight and you take 10 of them in front of the same window on the same day with the same iPhone, that's not 10 photos to me, that's one photo, because those 10 photos are all under the same conditions. Yeah, you may color drape a different color, but you're not really changing like how you're taking the photo. So what I like to do is I like to ask for a wide variety of photos for this exact reason. You can see from this photo alone, she looks like she could be bright, like she is not muted, she is not soft. I don't think that's true. You know, and the reason why she looks bright is because, first of all, she just looks bright, but secondly, because that like pretty bright purple just looks like it fits her really well. I think in real life it wouldn't really look like that. But yeah. But I will say that I really love this top on her because this is perfect for her as a formal and elegant option as beveled firm for her body type. You know, again, she has like the loose unconstructed bow. She has a bit of draping to the shirt. I think it just looks beautiful on her. It looks effortless, it looks elegant, and I would even like to see a little bit more smoothness to the hair. I would, you know, a little bit more smooth. That's why my favorite outfit is still that emerald green one. And so here again you can see how stiff that looks on her, and again, you know, because she's royalty, we don't really mind the things that she wears look overly formal or stiff or anything like that. But if she were to just be a regular person, this really looks really quite stiff on her. The stiff fabric, the over tailoring of the blazer, the stiff shoulders are too stiff on her silhouette, on her bone structure. And so here, you know, that's a little bit, it's a little bit softer of a fit, but I do think that that kind of like very straight fit to the dress just doesn't really completely suit her, and being short like that, like something about the length, I think it looks a little bit boxy on her. And that's again because she has the longer lines, and she needs something that has long flowing lines to it. It doesn't necessarily mean that she has to wear long dresses all the time. She doesn't, but something that is maybe a midi length, something that goes slightly below the knee can look long, like a long line. Or either, you know, either that, or of course for her this isn't an option because of her occupation or status or whatever, but a bevel type can often wear a very short skirt, and in that way your legs will become the long line. So if you have long lines to your silhouette and you're tall and you have long arms and legs, then it does work well to wear short skirts because the legs themselves become the longer line. You just don't want to do something in the middle like this because this can tend to look boxy. Okay, so here I think she looks beautiful. I love the color on her. You know, I love the hair on her. I think that's a really good mixture between having a little bit of softness and texture to her hair, but at the same time it looks overall pretty smooth and it looks elegant, and I think she just looks beautiful here. And here again you can see I think even this looks a little bit stiff on her. Of course it is pretty loose, but the neckline being so tailored, and with that collar being like that, the neckline being like that, it just looks a little bit stiff on her. And even the pants look a little bit stiff. I think we want a little bit more movement, not so much over tailoring, but because she's royalty, you know, it doesn't, we can forgive a lot of that simply because of that. And this again, it does look stiff, but you know, it's a part of, I guess, her look overall is that very, very overly formal look. And so you can really see here, now is this, no, it's not, maybe it is this, no, it's not the same outfit. I see that she often does this, but she is wearing a slightly different thing here, but the theme is the same. It looks too stiff, okay, and especially here, you know, it looks very severe and very stiff, and you can really see that here, and I think that kind of lends itself to her image, but at the same time, I really do prefer her in the slightly softer options. You know, like that emerald green look that I showed before, I think that really suits her much, much, much better than this does. And she looks just as elegant, just as sophisticated, but she's not fighting with her own beauty. And so here, you know, I think she looks just fine. I mean, I think that the hair has too much curve, too much softness. This kind of hairstyle that's like blown out, more glamorous almost, works better for people who have more full and lush facial features. So if you have soft cheeks, if you have full lips, if you have round eyes, then this kind of roundness and fullness to the hair really can work beautifully. But for someone like Kate Middleton, she has more moderate features in terms of fullness, so I personally wouldn't put her in here like this. And then of course the top or the dress, whatever it is that she's wearing, it looks a little bit too tight, doesn't it? It's a little bit too tight, and you know, I think that she is, you know, it does look a tiny bit too harsh. It's just a little bit harsh. I really like to see her in colors that are more pastels, like this one, that are just beautiful. Either that or that emerald green that I talked about, you know, or anything like this, let's say like a soft blue, soft seafoam green, anything of that sort would just be so beautiful on Kate. And I think everything else, you know, it's like, it's okay. It's not that she ever really looks bad, because she's very beautiful, she's just very beautiful, but, you know, something like this, again, I mean, this is just really as bad as it gets. So obviously this is really bad, I think we all know it. Like this just, we don't often see stuff like this, but I don't know what it is, actually, you know, when I was saying the blue blazer, she just took it off after seeing the photo and walked elegantly straight to the trash and threw it out. That's actually not apparently what happened. Apparently she saw the photo, or someone saw the photo who really hates her, and had her get another color of the same blazer. I don't care who made this blazer, I don't care if it's Burberry or whatever, it looks really bad on her. And if you notice, this blazer, which I noticed right now, that's why I'm getting so angry, okay, is that this blazer looks like it's basically the same thing. I don't care, you guys, same difference. I don't want to hear it if it's not the literal same blazer, okay, but it looks, we're going all the way back because this is important. This blazer, which looks so bad on her. The reason why I'm angry is because she is so good looking, and for her to wear something like this is just, frankly, a disrespect of her beauty. That's what I think. Anyway, so yeah, so I think that looks really bad. I think the red one, that blue one, you know, she was walking and it was like kind of a night, but here you can see how bad, and the blazer, I believe, was open. Yeah, it was open in the blue one. The blue blazer was open. This one is closed. You can really see how bad this looks on her. It looks really, really bad. And you can see now, we can just pause to discuss, forget the color type, because what kind of coloring is this? This is like a purple in the background. There's nothing that we could possibly say here about her coloring, aside from her contrast levels, which we already know. Her hair is dark, her skin is kind of light, you know, that's all we can say about her coloring. We can't say a single thing about her skin undertone from this photo on. Okay, but what we can say is that the blazer looks awful on her, and she just is like, you can see how tailored it is and how stiff it looks on her. We can't even get to the pants or the skirt or whatever that is. We just can't. We can't even go there because we're just stuck on the blazer, okay? And so you can see how the length of the sleeves is just too short. It's a little bit too short. I'd really like to see it go like past the knuckle a little bit. I'd like to see the fabric be a little bit softer and have a little bit more drape to it, just a little bit softer. I would like to see not that much tailoring at the shoulders, obviously. It's just too tailored, that's all it is. And I think it just looks really disconnected from her, and it just doesn't look right on her. The thing is that she's just looked so much better so many times that yeah. And the fact that this blazer is the same as the royal blue blazer, more or less the same. I don't want to hear it if it's not the same blazer, like I said, but it looks like effectively the same blazer to me. It's not really that amazing of a color on her. The blue one is probably worse. Like if she closed the blue one, it's worse. I'd rather see the red one maybe, but they're both so bad that it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's still bad. Okay, it's a better photo, but it's still not that great. And now we see that their pants, the pants are not that bad. I think this is a really bad photo, but this is still like not good at all. I think it looks really bad on her. I still stand by everything that I said. This looks a little better because she's like in movement. You know, like when you're in movement, that's more of a flattering photo usually, but here I really love this. You know, I think that like just like a smaller pattern on the skirt. I guess she's wearing a skirt. The smaller pattern can kind of look like a texture, so that's one trick that you can use if you are a bevel type and you don't want to wear a ton of texture. Maybe your environment is more formal and you may not want to wear something textured. You can do a pattern that's very small, and that can look like a texture in and of itself. So here I think that's sort of what's happening, is that brings a little bit of texture, and her top looks really nice on her, and you can wear a tighter top or a more clingy top as beveled if your hair is a bit more loose and sort of tousled. And that's what's happening here, and I think it just looks beautiful on her. I think that this outfit is just nice. I think it just looks nice. She looks like she's in her own skin. It doesn't look too stiff on her or anything like that, so I do like this. Here, you know, you can really see this is just a really great example of how she is a muted skin undertone, because if you remember the light soft pink photo, that one is really quite different and just melts into her skin. It's worth it to just go back and just take a look at it. So, you know, the light soft pink photo where it just melts into her skin is just, it's really beautiful, it's really effortless, and it's not too bright. Now if we look at the one with the more like really bright pastel, I really don't like the bright pastel on her. I think, okay, I shouldn't say I don't like it. I don't like it compared to the very high standard of the soft pink. I do like this overall. I don't think that this looks really that bad at all. I do like it. I like it a lot better than a lot of the other things she's worn. I think she does look like she's a little bit more in her own skin. You know, it's not overly tailored or things like that, but the color itself could be a bit more muted. That's all it is, just like that soft pink that I just showed you guys. It's just, she's better off because she has a muted skin undertone, because she has a muted coloring, that she wears muted colors. Yeah, I mean, I think this does look really pretty on her, but again, I would have really liked to see her in more muted, soft colors. And here, you know, these colors do work on her. I think that I'm hoping that is like a little bit of a cooler burgundy in that print. I think this looks sort of beautiful on her. Yeah, I mean, I think that the fabric may be a little bit too lightweight. She wants a fabric that has a bit of drape to it, a bit of softness to it, but something like chiffon that's very lightweight and could just basically just blow into the sky, you know, I think that's too lightweight for her. So there's something about that that's a little bit too lightweight, but now I'm kind of getting a little bit, you know, a little bit too maybe picky, because this looks good overall, but she also looks quite warm here as well, and so she does look warm here in this photo. And again, this is why I like to have a lot of photos to get like a full sense of someone's coloring, and then I would really be curious to know if she does some spray tanning. I don't know. I would be curious to know that. And of course, if she were just tanning in a tanning bed, like a natural tan, it would be a natural tan because it would be her own pigment. So in that sense, it's natural. It's not natural because it's a tanning bed, but anywho, it would be her own pigment. So then she would just continue to be cool and delicate. But if she were getting a spray tan, then she is probably changing her skin undertone. And her hair also looks warmer here. Could be the photo, but yeah. So yeah, again, you know, my favorite look. I just really love this. I think it just looks perfect on her. And it's just the right amount of formality. She looks very formal. She looks very elegant, but at the same time, she looks like she's comfortable in her own skin. And she doesn't look like she's overly stiff. And I think this is just the perfect perfect combination of that kind of elegance that takes into account her color type, that takes into account her body type, her silhouette, just her beauty overall, like as an entire look, as an entire person. You know, she has the soft coloring, she has the high contrast, she has a lot of elegance to her, a lot of formality, and last but not least, she also has, you know, those long lines to her. So yeah, so I think this is probably my favorite look on her, as well as that soft pink look too. So I would really put her in something like this, the longer lines, the soft pastels, soft cool pastels. Those all would look really beautiful on her, and that's what I would put her in. So that's it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will talk to you later. Leave me a comment down below, and if you are confused about what's going on, take a look around my channel. If you're still confused, I offer typings through my website, and I'll leave a link to those down below. And I will talk to you next time.